Hey, I'm Jim with Blaze, and today I'm going to be cooking on the 40-inch LTE Pro gas grill. I'm going to do a nice dinner for two. We're going to do some steak and lobster with a garlic butter baste. This is going to be a garlic butter baste for the lobsters. It's really just a stick and a half of butter, 2 cloves of garlic minced, and 2 teaspoons of chopped parsley and 2 teaspoons of chopped chives. Then we're going to squeeze in 2 whole lemons. Just drop them right in the pot. We're going to put this to the side for now, and when we start cooking everything, we're going to put this over an unlit burner so it slowly melts together. So steak and lobster for two. These are petite lobster tails, 3 to 5 ounce. We're going to do 4 total and then 2 big juicy steaks. But to prep these lobster tails, some sharp kitchen shears would be nice. You want to cut right down the center of the tail until you get to that last section and just before the actual tail, and then slowly pull off this first section of shell. This is really just for presentation. This lobster tail, the meat, we're going to pull it out of here. It's going to rest on the shell and it's going to hang over and it's going to look just beautiful. Now very carefully you want to start to separate these other sections of the tail. You don't want to make sure you don't break anything off and have little bits of shell everywhere, but just kind of separate them just enough to get a finger in the sides and start separating the meat from the shell. And just kind of work left and right. And then even on the bottom, there's a membrane on the bottom. You can get between the meat and that bottom portion, and then you'll feel it start to separate. This is probably the longest part of the whole prep. And you really want to be patient with this, and when you start to feel that meat come apart from the shell, slowly, gently pull it up, leaving this last section attached to the tail. And just let it hang over the tail. All right, now we're going to take one of our lemons that we squeezed into our baste. Just going to squeeze it over the tail and then come in with the seasoning of your choice and lightly season those tails. I'm going to start by putting my appetizers or my little extras up on the warming rack, and this is going to be over the burner that is not lit. So I've got a completely unlit burner for the sauce or for the base to completely melt down. I've got these 2 on low now, which we're going to do the lobsters, and I got these 2 on high where we're going to sear the steaks. Now the biggest challenge of all this is keeping an eye on these things so we don't burn our little delicate morsels. I'm putting my steaks on. We're going to go right on these ceramic flame tamers over high heat. I'm going to let it go for 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, give them a little cross hatch. And then flip them over and do the same thing on the other side. We're going for a medium to a medium rare finish. Meantime, we're going to put our garlic butter baste over the burner that is not lit. So that's just going to slowly melt together. All right, we're about 3.5 to 4 minutes in on one side of the steak. Gonna give it a flip. Look at the beautiful sear marks. And then we're gonna use our temperature probes so we know exactly when to pull them off at the precise doneness. We're going to pull the steaks off, let them rest under foil for now. And while they're resting, we're gonna get our lobster tails on, and essentially everything will come off the grill at the same time. Always important to let the protein rest, especially something like steak. You want to cover it over. It's going to continue to cook, and it's going to continue to absorb those flavors. You know what? We're just going to flip our... These are cooking up nice and slow, which I like. These are bacon wrapped. Whoa, we had a jumper. Bacon wrapped, boudin stuffed jalapenos. For those of you that do not live in Louisiana and have never had boudin, you don't know what you're missing. Now we're gonna be cooking these lobsters over low to medium heat because these are not gonna take long. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna check the temps on these every couple of minutes with a temp probe. I might try to use the meat probes in these. We'll see how this works. Sometimes they're so light, I worry about them falling over. That might work. So we're looking for about a 140 degree internal temp on the lobster tails. Every minute and a half to 2 minutes, you just want to come in with this garlic butter baste and a basting brush and just drizzle over the tops of these tails. You don't want to brush it on because you don't want to lose any of that beautiful seasoning. And we'll do that about every couple of minutes before these are done. One more drizzle. We're right at 140, 142, somewhere in between. Now what you want to do as soon as you pull these off is serve them up hot. Lobster doesn't need to rest. When it's done, it's ready to be eaten. We'll pull them off. One more drizzle with our baste. And you can take one of these lemons in here and give it one more squeeze of lemon. At the same time the lobster's done, our little extras on the warming rack should be just about perfection. There you have it, steak and lobster with a garlic butter baste for two. Give it a try.